In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on December 19, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Charlotte Hornets versus Washington Wizards. A pair of struggling teams from the Southeast Division face off in the nation's capital, each hoping to end their losing streak and secure a rare victory. The Charlotte Hornets take to the road, traveling a short distance north to challenge the Washington Wizards on Thursday night. Charlotte is coming off a 121-108 loss at home against Philadelphia on Monday night, failing to cover the spread as a 2.5-point underdog. Meanwhile, Washington suffered a 112-98 defeat at home to Boston on Sunday but managed to cover as a 17-point underdog. Historically, the Hornets hold a 71-61 lead in the regular season series between these teams, though the Wizards claimed a 112-100 victory in their last meeting on March 8, 2024. Charlotte comes into this matchup with a fully healthy roster, while Washington continues to grapple with significant absences, including Kyle Kuzma, Malcolm Brogdon, and Corey Kispert. The Hornets have had a rough season, losing 10 of their last 11 games and showing little promise in their recent loss to the 76ers. However, the Wizards have fared even worse, managing just 3 wins so far and dealing with injuries that deplete their lineup further. Both teams have dim prospects for the postseason, with the Hornets struggling offensively but performing adequately on defense, while the Wizards rank among the worst in both scoring offense and defense. Charlotte's healthier roster could give them a crucial edge, especially with LaMelo Ball back in action, potentially complemented by Brandon Miller if he's cleared to play. The Hornets' offensive potential looks brighter with Ball's return, offering them a path to higher scoring games. Conversely, the Wizards heavily depend on Bilal Coulibaly and Jordan Poole to even approach competitive scoring, as seen in their recent 98-point outing. While the Wizards have gone 4-3 against the spread in their last 7 games, they were heavy underdogs in each. When the spread has been under 10 points, they are 0-4 against it. Charlotte has only won 2 road games this season, making them a shaky favorite, but Washington's disastrous performance, marked by poor defense and consistent losses, tilts the odds in the Hornets' favor. The Wizards' 8-15-1 record against the spread, despite being sizable underdogs, underlines their ineffectiveness. Given Washington's dire state, the Charlotte Hornets to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Wizards have struggled to score, surpassing 110 points in only 3 of their last 13 games. Whether their games hit the over largely depends on how many points they allow rather than their offensive contributions. Charlotte, even with Ball healthy earlier in the season, managed to score over 110 points in just 8 of their first 18 games. Both teams rank near the bottom in points per game, with Washington sitting at 25th and Charlotte even lower at 28th. The Hornets have stayed under the projected total in 14 of their 26 games this season, with 1 push. They rank 25th in the league in turnovers, averaging 16.4 per game, and also 25th in pace, averaging 97.3 possessions per game. Similarly, Washington has stayed under the total in 12 of their first 24 games this season, with 1 push. While they are 4th in pace, averaging 102.6 possessions per game, their offensive inefficiency and defensive woes counteract any benefit from their up-tempo style. The Wizards rank 23rd in turnovers, committing 16.2 per contest. Given both teams' offensive struggles and Washington's defensive shortcomings, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Detroit Pistons. The Utah Jazz, currently holding a disappointing 5-20 record, will be looking to break their 2-game losing streak on the road when they take on the Detroit Pistons, who sit at 11-16, on Thursday evening. This matchup will take place at the Little Caesars Arena, where the Jazz hope to turn their fortunes around. Both teams are entering the game with contrasting recent performances, setting up an intriguing contest. The Jazz head into this matchup following a humiliating 144-107 loss to the Los Angeles Clippers, a game in which they were 7.5-point underdogs but failed to remain competitive. On the other hand, the Pistons are coming off a thrilling 125-124 victory against the Miami Heat as 4.5-point underdogs, showcasing their ability to step up in critical moments. Utah has historically had the upper hand in this head-to-head matchup, winning 8 of the last 10 games against Detroit. The Jazz remain shorthanded for this game, with SBI Mikhailuk still sidelined and Jordan Clarkson listed as questionable. Meanwhile, the Pistons will also be missing Tobias Harris, which could impact their rotations. Detroit has shown flashes of promise recently, winning 2 of their last 3 games, while Utah has struggled mightily, losing 4 of their previous 5 outings. The Pistons appear to have an advantage in this matchup, as they have been shooting the ball exceptionally well, converting over 47% of their field goal attempts and an impressive 40% of their three-pointers in the last 3 games. Additionally, their ability to secure offensive rebounds, averaging more than 11 per game at home, has created extra scoring opportunities. Conversely, the Jazz's defensive struggles have been glaring, as they've allowed opponents to score an average of over 139 points in their last 3 games, making it likely they'll face challenges containing Detroit's offensive firepower. It's rare to see the Pistons favored by nearly 2 possessions, but this situation underscores the gap between the two teams. The Jazz, owning the 3rd worst record in the league at 5-20, have endured a particularly rough stretch, losing 8 of their last 9 games. Of those losses, 7 have been by a margin of at least 5 points, with Utah's average margin of defeat sitting at a staggering minus 13 points during this run. In contrast, there are reasons for cautious optimism surrounding Detroit. While no one is projecting the Pistons as title contenders, they have shown enough potential to warrant occasional support against the spread, especially when facing weaker opposition. With 2 wins in their last 3 games, Detroit appears to be in reasonable form and possesses the offensive tools to exploit Utah's porous defense. Their improved shooting and solid rebounding efforts make them a far superior team compared to the Jazz. Given Utah's woeful 5-20 record and a lackluster 10-15 performance against the spread, there's little incentive to back the Jazz, particularly after their blowout loss to the Clippers. If the Pistons are serious about maintaining their competitiveness in the standings, this is a game they should win convincingly. Therefore, the Detroit Pistons to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. A deeper look at Utah's defensive metrics further underscores their struggles. The Jazz are statistically the worst defensive team in the NBA, ranking 28th in points allowed per game, surrendering 120 points on average. They are dead last in defensive efficiency, giving up 118 points per 100 possessions, a clear sign of their inability to contain opponents. Adding to the challenge, both the Pistons and Jazz are among the most turnover-prone teams in the league, with Detroit averaging 15.8 turnovers per game and Utah leading the league in turnovers at 17.4 per game. These turnovers can lead to quick transition scores, increasing the likelihood of a high-scoring affair. Given Utah's defensive woes, betting on the over remains a sound strategy. Recent trends support this conclusion. The Jazz have gone over the total in each of their last 5 games, while the Pistons have achieved the same in 4 of their last 5. Utah averages 110 points per game and plays at the 19th fastest pace in the league, with an average of 101.8 possessions per game. They will be facing a Pistons team that allows an average of 116.5 points per game at home. Meanwhile, Detroit averages 111 points per game and operates at the 14th fastest pace, with 103.1 possessions per contest. They will be up against a Jazz defense that surrenders 123 points per game on the road. Historically, these teams have combined to go over the total in 3 of their last 4 meetings. Expect another high-scoring matchup where both teams generate enough offense to push the score beyond the projected total. Thus, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Orlando Magic. It's an interconference clash on the hardwood as 2 division-leading teams square off in search of a win under the bright lights of the Sunshine State. The Oklahoma City Thunder hit the road for a Thursday night matchup against the Orlando Magic. Oklahoma City comes into this game following a 97-81 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Cup Championship game on Tuesday night in Las Vegas, a contest that did not impact league standings. Meanwhile, the Orlando Magic are also seeking to bounce back after falling 100-91 to the New York Knicks at home on Sunday, a game where they failed to cover the spread as 4.5-point underdogs. Historically, Oklahoma City has dominated this matchup, holding a commanding 45-26 lead in the all-time regular season season series. The Thunder have also won the last 3 meetings between the teams, including a convincing 102-86 victory at home earlier this season on November 4th. Both teams enter this matchup dealing with significant injury-related absences. For the Thunder, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and Alex Dukas remain sidelined. On the other side, the Magic are grappling with the loss of key players Gary Harris, Paolo Banchero, and Franz Wagner. The injuries to Banchero and Wagner, Orlando's top 2 scoring threats, are particularly damaging as both players are out with torn obliques. While Banchero is on the road to recovery and may return soon, the Magic are left without a significant chunk of their offensive firepower, a critical issue for a team that already struggles to generate consistent scoring. Compounding their challenges is Oklahoma City's league-leading defense, which makes them one of the toughest teams to score against. Despite Orlando's impressive 10-1 record at home this season, this particular matchup has not been favorable to them historically. The Thunder have gone 7-3 in their last 10 meetings against the Magic and boast a strong 9-3 record on the road. Included in those victories is their earlier 102-86 win in November. Given Orlando's offensive inconsistencies without Banchero and Wagner, the Thunder are positioned to capitalize on this situation. Missing 2 players who each average more than 20 points per game puts Orlando at a considerable disadvantage, making it difficult for them to keep up. What could have been a compelling matchup earlier in the season has been significantly impacted by the Magic's injuries. As a result, looking to rebound from one of their most disappointing losses of the season, the Oklahoma City Thunder to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full-game side pick. For fans looking ahead to this game, the focus should be on defense, as these 2 teams have been the best in the NBA on that side of the ball, both allowing just 103 points per game through the first quarter of the season. Oklahoma City's recent games highlight their defensive prowess, with the under hitting in 6 of their last 10 matchups. The Thunder have held opponents to fewer than 100 points in 5 of those games. For the Magic, the under has also been a common theme, hitting in 5 of their last 10 games, with the team scoring fewer than 105 points on 6 occasions during that stretch. The Thunder entered this game with a 15-11 record on the under in their first 26 games this season. They rank first in the league in turnovers, committing just 11.8 per game, while maintaining an above-average pace, sitting 9th in the league with 99.8 possessions per game. Meanwhile, the Magic have stayed under the total in 15 of their 28 games this season. Orlando averages 15 turnovers per game, ranking 17th in the league, and plays at a slower pace, ranking 26th with just 97.1 possessions per game. Considering the Magic's injury woes, their slower tempo, and the Thunder's top-ranked scoring defense, under the projected total is our full-game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.